Hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Report. Because without you, we wouldn't exist. Now I gotta tell you, I can't believe how fast the 2016 year has rolled by. And it's just been an incredible year after that good old 4-12 season we had the year before. But I want you guys to go out, have a great time tonight, saying goodbye to 2016, but be careful out there so you're around for 2017. Now, one thing I always like to do, I take pride in everything that I put out there. I'm really careful to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go ahead and give you a BS answer to anything. I'm going to research it. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to research it and come up with the best conclusion possible. Now, of course, nobody is always right because it's the NFL and it's so unpredictable. But I dare say that I'm probably right more than a lot of the talking heads that are out there. So let's look back at some of my predictions that I had, something I'm sure you won't hear from the talking heads out there, and see how I fared. Roll the tape.
I think Dak Prescott is the man for the Dallas Cowboys. Be sure to click subscribe, friends, so that way you can get more of my Jobu reports. Let's go to the tape.
Dak Prescott is going to move up to second string. I do too. And I dare say he's going to end up playing and winning a game for the Cowboys, because what they'll be able to do that they couldn't last year is they'll be able to run the ball, and using Dak can go ahead and do almost like a read option, which is something that Kellen Moore or Whedon and these other guys could not do, where you're going to have to worry about actually stopping him, which is something he could do really, really well when he played at Mississippi State. You know, he can draw you in and like RG3, hit you with that real quick out. Okay.
Yes, Eagle fans, you won't get that Super Bowl ring again this year. So go ahead. And the Cowboys are scrambling trying to find a backup quarterback. Nick Foles signed with the Chiefs, and he definitely wanted to get a good payday. And of course, now there's rumors that the Cowboys are looking to try and get Josh McCown from Cleveland. Well, he's not exactly a spring chicken, and at best, he's a short-term solution. Personally, I'd rather see the Dallas Cowboys give the reps to Dak Prescott and coach him up. With Tony Romo having a day off every 3 days, he will have valuable minutes and time to start learning the system. Now, of course, a lot of you say, well, he's not ready, you know, he's not this, he's not that. But you know what? They said the same thing about Russell Wilson, and I believe he has a Super Bowl ring right now. So stick with Dax, forget about giving up a king's ransom for an over-the-hill quarterback. Coach up the guy you have. Now that we got that out of the way, If you've been following along with the Jobu report on the Benet Emery show that I do, you know I've been all in on Dak Prescott since the Senior Bowl. I mean, I don't know what the experts out there have been looking at, but I saw a guy who was poised in the pocket, who had 71 touchdown passes, and they said he was a running quarterback, but only had 40 in comparison. I mean, I remember there were some things like they called him the Tebow 2.0. Well, I got to tell you, he's way beyond what Tebow can do. I saw him throw on a rope a ball 55 yards in college, dead on. Same type of ball I'm seeing him with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he's not going to end up being great wide receivers like Des Bryant. See, here's the perfect situation. As much as I love Tony Romo, it's better that Tony Romo got hurt right now because we have 3 weeks before the Giants. So that's 3 weeks to coach him up. Now, generally speaking, like last year when Tony Romo got hurt, Brandon Wheaton wasn't getting all the snaps and stuff in practice. He came in cold in the middle of a game, and so now all of a sudden you've got a game plan on 4 days of practices for the following week in the season. Same thing with Matt Castle. He came into the team cold. Well, Dak has got plenty of time to work with those guys. Now, the great thing is when he's in that huddle, every one of those guys are a veteran with the exception of Elliott. He's got a great running game. He's got great wide receivers. He doesn't have to be the everything. Cowboys, the team that they tell you is suspect, the team they say stinks on defense. Well, here's what's interesting. The Dallas Cowboys offense did nothing to help them out last year, but somehow that defense went from 19th to 17th. Yeah, you're going to say big deal. So the middle of the pack defense. Well, let's take this into consideration. Would you believe that 11 of the games they played last year were against teams with an offense 13th or higher? Let me say that again. 11 of the games they played were against teams whose offense were ranked 13th or higher. And 3 of those games were teams that are against top 5. So they didn't play like the little sisters of the poor. They played the cream of the crop in the NFL. They didn't have an offense that could actually keep the ball. Yet, that defense actually got better, giving up only 348 yards a game. Now, the biggest problem, of course, they had was not getting turnovers. Well, you know, sometimes it's just how the ball bounces. I mean, you don't go from second last year to 28th, you know, and that you just forgot how to get turnovers. It just works out sometimes that way. Now, I look for that defense to be definitely a lot better. And believe it or not, that defensive backfield that we had last year was ranked 6th in the NFL in pass defense. Say again, 6th in pass defense. And that's without Orlando Scandrick, and that's with Byron Jones flip-flopping from cornerback to safety as a rookie. Now, I look for that defensive backfield to be a lot better. One, Byron Jones is going to stay at safety. Okay, so he's going to be able to have a year behind him. He's going to be at the same position. He's going to be learning the nuances. Orlando Scandrick is back. And if he's anything like the player he was our best pass defender in 2014. That's going to be major. And Morris Claiborne, and believe it, I can't believe I'm the one that's saying this, but he's made it through a whole training camp healthy for the first time, and he has looked good. And I think he's about to make a major step forward. So, that's how I see our week. Everybody was talking about Carson Wentz and everything. Oh, yeah, he's going to be great. But, you know, he's been playing in that good old step-down conference and everything else. And to me, all the quarterbacks that are there is no home run like a Mariota or a Winston. You know? To me, all these guys are kind of project quarterbacks. They'll still go high in the draft because, of course, there's a premium of quarterbacks. You know, you can't say, well, they're not great quarterbacks. I'm not going to spend a draft pick on them. You still got to take a chance. But to me, seeing Dak Prescott was the MOP. Don't ask me why they don't call it MVP. They call it most outstanding player as opposed to most valuable player at the Senior Bowl. But the kid is about 6'2", about 230 pounds, and he's stocky. And he can run, he can take a hit, but he also has a hell of an arm. And he would benefit from being behind Tony Romo for a year or two. And I think the Dallas Cowboys could trade back, get an extra pick, get an impact defensive lineman, pick him up, still get the Jobu report. I just got finished watching some of the Senior Bowl, and I got to tell you, I'm feeling really high on Dak Prescott. That's right, Dak Prescott. In the way of Cam Newton, he's pretty good size, 6'2", 230 pounds, although he needs some time to sit on the bench, and it might be a good place to put him with the Dallas Cowboys. He's responsible for over 110 touchdowns in his college career. Now let's go look at some of the highlights and see what I'm about as excited as can be that the Dallas Cowboys drafted Dak Prescott. You know, I know a lot of you are thinking, big deal, he's a fourth-round quarterback. Well, guess what, guys? A lot of those quarterbacks that are high, number one draft picks, first round, guess what? A lot of them are busts. There are more quarterbacks that were later round picks that are great. Does the name Tom Brady ring a bell? Drew Brees? Russell Wilson? Hey, how about Tony Romo? Wasn't even drafted. But I'm telling you guys, he's got the size, he's got the build to take a hit, and he's played against elite competition in the Southeast Conference. And tell me again, who has Carson Wentz played against in Missouri Valley Conference? Let's go to the latest from the NFL Network.